What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in update 14, and this is going to be the Mad Cephalon. This is the overview video, and it's going to be slightly different here. I'm going to cover a lot of the stuff that's in the current features that we have now for this update 14, but I'm not going to cover everything because the list is so long that the first 2 times I did the audio, it took more than 30 minutes. So, with that said, if you check out my Everything Warframe page, which I will have a link for in the description below, and as well I will try to set up an annotation. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You will find the what I call the Update 14 maintenance blog that I set up. You will find access to all of the different things, the new user experience, the prologue, the kubrow videos that I've done, as well as looking on the main page of my YouTube. But this is an easier place for you to quickly find everything and access Prime Gear locations, all that stuff. I've set it up, and I will keep it up to date and keep everything running. It's just a quick way so you can go through all the stuff and see everything that's in here, but we're going to try to cover a little bit of the good stuff. So, I've already done a series on the new user experience. It's done on the quest system. It's not completed yet. It should be about 6 to 7 videos when it's finished. The player ship is included in that quest system. And we just finished up a video on the genetic foundry and the kubrow. So there's some basic stuff in there. I will expand on that list as that guide as time moves on and more things are put in and we get to expand on some of the stuff in there. But we're going to talk about all this good stuff. So the key feature here in the genetic foundry and the kubrow, obviously you're going to create your kubrow. There is quest for it that's unlocked through Jackal. Okay, there are different kubrow personality types. There are 4 different kubrow personality types, different combat and non-combat abilities. You can make your own kubrow more combat effective by caring for it and equipping powerful link mods. You can create genetic imprints of your kubrow that can be traded with friends and combined to create your perfect pet. Each adult kubrow can create up to 2 imprints, just for FYI. There are an additional 16 new mods for your kubrow that drop from the Pharaoh kubrows. And generally the Pharaoh kubrows are on the Earth missions, so just keep that in mind. You're going to want to do a lot of Earth farming. Caring for your kubrow involves regular interaction to make sure that it's happy. Going away for a while, kubrows are capable of undergoing long periods of time in a stasis, so feel free to send your kubrow to stasis while you're away. The stasis, as noted in my video, my kubrow video, it's a 3-hour hold basically that the kubrow goes into. Then we've got the new Warframe, which you're seeing me use for the first time in this video, the Mirage, the Master of Illusion. Mirage confounds the enemy in spectacle of style and power. If it's a Mirage you seek, you may obtain by quest the Mirage for this as well. So to her powers of illusion we can attest. Within a vault, the requirements lie as part of the dark and corrupted infested sky. So we know that it's in the derelict vault runs. So it's gonna start in there. That's where the quest is starting at. The region infested, Eris, is now reclaimed, or at least part of it has been reclaimed in Update 14 by the infested. There are available game modes in Eris. Regions include Hive, Sabotage, Exterminate, and Survival, which is pretty cool to see them back on the main part of the game. Some new weapons which you see me use for the first time in this video as well. The AkZani, it's a choice weapon of the Mirage. These fast-firing dual pistols deliver a deadly performance. They're pretty decent. They are puncture heavy. And I'll quickly throw up stats on the screen so you can see them while I'm going through the video. I'm not going to talk about it all, but I'll just throw the basic stats up so you can see it. Then we also have the Silva and Aegis. This is a fiery sword and shield combination, perfect for the balance of Tenno offense and defense prowess. In the hands of a master, even the defensive tool, like a shield, can be used as a deadly weapon. This new weapon uses the brand new stance, the 11th Storm, created from a concept of our Melee Design Contest winner, Silverbones. So congratulations to Silverbones for getting his concept, or her concept, into the game. I'm going to throw up the basic stats on the Silva Aegis here so you can see it. And I'm also going to throw up the quick list of stuff for the 11th Storm stance so you can just see the different stances that are the combos that are in there right there. And we'll talk more about that as we go farther in. Now we've also got dark sectors have been enhanced. So deployment of solar rails was halted, we know that. And the regular solar rail deployment schedule will return, and they will let us know when that happens. The new dark sector conflicts have arrived, and a new gameplay mode has arrived to replace the existing solar rail conflict missions. Okay, so choose which clan or alliance you wish to support and play the role of either attacker or defender on a multi-stage objective mission. Up to 4 human players per side, with empty empty player slots auto-filled by specters. So if you have only 3 going in, empty slots will be filled by specters from the, I would assume, from the alliance side of things based on the tactician setup. Rank up your mods while you play, of course. If you're in a clan or you are the alliance tactician, you can find a new schema customization area in the Orokin lab today. Using these schemas can customize your clan or alliance's solar rails by selecting room orders, placing turrets in Spectre spawn points. Clan and alliance members can enter your schema and contribute to your plans, applying your schema to the rails that are not in a conflict state to have them ready for the next conflict. Just pretty cool, so you're going to have a little more customization into that. The battle pay has been changed up around. Is now proportionate to your contribution to the mission. So for the new game mode, attackers will have to destroy the core and defenders will have to prevent that. The more damage you do or prevent as appropriate, the more you get paid. FYI. This is a PvP style now, from my understanding. I have not looked at it yet, but it's 4 versus 4 basically. So we'll do some exploration of that. I'm not really sure how that's going to all work out yet. I mean, that could be pretty one-sided based off of how you mod up your frame and whatnot. So there's 3 new alternate helmets in here. Mirage Harley Quinn helmet, which you see me wearing. You've got Hydroid's Ketos helmet. You've got Zephyr's Tengu helmet. I have not even looked at them yet. Additions, we've got a whole bunch of new additions, including some CPU performance enhancements that have been made. You can rename your alliance now. Alliance emblems capability has been added for warlords of the alliance on the warframe.com page, and some of that stuff. The Intel, there should, if you're running a Intel HD graphics on your computer, you should see a performance increase by disabling the anti-strophic filtering, which is now available. They added an accept all pending friend request option as a context action under the accept friends menu. Added a new animation when you use a revive in a mission, which you see me use a couple times because I've died a lot with this frame already. Which is pretty cool. It basically kills everything in there, in the area where you're at. We've got some changes to Sarin that have been made. So Molt has received an art and effects overhaul. Molt now removes proc and status effects when cast, which is really cool. Valkyr changes. Hysteria has been reworked with a entirely new animation set and sound. Activate the Hysteria to play through the new combos and movement set. The Hysteria now is affected by the melee combo counter bonuses. So the higher your combo chain, the more damage your Hysteria will do, which is really awesome. Volt's shield now has a countdown timer. So in the case of the multiple spawned shields, the time for the last spawned one will be displayed, similar to Frost's snow globe. Some general enemy changes here. Scorpions will now be able to pull players off the off nav, which means on boxes or other areas off the main path of the mission. Enemies' health is no longer capped at 65,535, so just keep that in mind as well. Infested faction changes. There's a whole bunch of infested faction changes here. Crawlers' move speed has been increased. New animations for infested ancients. Electric crawler attack range has been fixed. They're now more likely to attack with their lightning. Lobber crawler has a new effect on his lobbed grenade, making it easier to see. Infested charger move speed has been increased. Suicide runners will no longer explode on death if killed by melee. The death explosion causes stagger, just as an FYI, and does now scale up with their level. Damage does now scale up. Okay. Infested leapers, their leaping attack can be parried to nullify the stagger, and the leap damage scales with their level as well, which is pretty cool that they set up the scaling. All ancients can pull targets. So pull can be blocked or dodged as an FYI, obviously if you're using melee. All ancients better anticipate anticipation of knockdown attack. It can now be parried to nullify damage on the knockdown. Okay, so that's what we're just talking about. So you can block it, and it'll nullify the damage on the knockdown as well. Toxic ancients do poison damage and give all nearby enemies poison damage. Ancients and nearby enemies are resistant to poison and gas damage. And of course, there goes my phone. As always, my phone is always going off. Healing ancients links with nearby allies. Any damage that they take heals the ancient up to 150% health, so more than what is basically there. And it scales up to reflect having health greater than 100%. All reduced reduces. I'm sorry. It's going to also reduce damage that nearby allies take. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want to kill them first before you take out all the nearbys. Healing ancients now has a fossilized health to be consistent with other ancients, which was infested armor before. Leaper infested can dodge now. And disruptor ancients, aura that reduces radial and power damage taken by nearby enemies. The attack damage energy rather than completely drain attacks of nearby allies have the same effect. Okay, so boss balancing changes. The following bosses have gone through balance passing to improve their scaling for groups of high-level players. So I hope it's a little more challenging. So the Grisog 3, the Hyena Pack, the Vahek, Jackal, Aladvine Zanuka, Sargus Ruck, Lefantis, and Captain Vor have all now been scaled better for based on balancing. So they should be a little bit harder to go through. Speaking of the Jackal, of course, the Jackal has some additional fixes to reduce the amount of stun lock possible, and also allowing him to scale better with level. The health of his legs was changed to a % of his total health, which scales up with level, making it harder to knock him into a stun state. His stun timer was also decreased while the damage is required to break him out of the stun. Early was also increased and made as a % of his total health rather than a set value. I did think that when I ran him the other day for the kubrow quest that he was a little bit different and changed. So there you go. That's what has changed on him. It's good to see the bosses have been balanced a bit, and they're going to be a little bit harder, obviously based off of levels. So that's always a good thing to do. Orc and Derelict Survival. Specific changes, let's just go through that here. So made some changes to the Derelict Survival missions to improve the spawning. Polished the logic of connecting procedural levels, increased the number of connections to increase play space, increase spawn room chance, and remove tentacle transversal room. The giant open room which branches are navigated from intermediate spawning. Which will only occur as a dead end now. Some general survival changes, and then let's see here. So let's see. General survival changes. They remove the locked door to extraction, as it only limits the available spawn locations within the first 5 minutes. Increase the number of small dead end rooms, the capped rooms, which can generate a place of red locked doors. Providing more spawn locations for enemies, which is pretty cool. Added some new small cap tiles for asteroids, settlement, outpost, and galleon tile sets. I have seen some little things going on in here and there. Restructured the derelict survival procedural level, so it has more small tiles between the main areas. There are 3 larger areas which will have life support capsule spawn points now. The stacking bug has been fixed. Capsules don't spawn instantly on activating a capsule if the level is full. The first room's capsule spawn are no longer switched off after 1 use. Since the first room is reused, each level may now have 2 to 3 more simultaneous capsules, which before it reaches its capacity. Originally, the level structure was a little bit different. Disabling spawns was intended to keep players closer to extraction after moving on from the first room. And then they added infested crawlers to survival enemy specs. Now, with that said, I think we're going to cut this here. I don't want to make this video too long for you. Hopefully you did enjoy this. Hit that like button for me if you did. Any comments, any questions, feel free to leave them below. Again, if you check out my Everything Warframe page, I try to keep that thing as up to date as I can. I have the maintenance blog, which I keep up to date with all the different changes and the updates that go through. I add all my videos constantly to try to give you an easier catalog so it's easier to find things that you need or are looking for. And again, if you ever have questions or comments, please do leave them below. I try to answer as much as I possibly can. A lot of you guys as well, a lot of my subscribers and people that have been following me for a while, they always chime in and try to help too. So at any time, feel free to leave it below. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button for me. And I will catch everybody in future episodes. We got a lot more to still do. See you later.